When your dog insists on following you into the bathroom, do you really know what they're trying to say? Sure, it can look funny, even cute. But behind that loyal shadow is something far deeper than most owners ever realize. For a dog, this simple habit carries some of the most emotional messages they'll ever send you. And if you brush it off as clinginess, you might miss the trust, the comfort, or even the silent plea they're trying to give you. So why do they do it? Let's begin with the first reason your dog simply cannot stand the closed door barrier. Have you ever noticed the look in your dog's eyes when you shut the bathroom door behind you? It's not just a door creaking closed, it's like a wall slamming down between their world and yours. To us, it feels normal. We crave privacy, a few quiet minutes to ourselves. But to your dog, that door is a betrayal, a sudden silence that cuts through the invisible leash, tying their heart to yours. Imagine this from their eyes. One moment, you're there, breathing, moving, filling the space with the rhythm of life they know by heart. The next moment, vanished. The sound of the latch is a thunderclap. Their instincts scream, "Where did my person go? Are they safe? Why am I locked out?" For creatures born from packs where survival depends on never being left behind, that door is not just wood and hinges, it's exile. Some dogs paw and scratch like prisoners begging for release. Others sit motionless, ears pressed forward, eyes fixed waiting like soldiers at attention. It isn't clinginess. It's loyalty sharpened into anxiety. They need to know you're still there, still theirs. Every second you're hidden feels like an eternity where anything could go wrong. And here's the part most owners miss, that desperation is proof of the bond. Your dog is not asking for entertainment. They're begging for connection, for reassurance, for the comfort that comes from knowing their person hasn't vanished into thin air. It's not about invading your space, it's about surviving separation, even if it's only 2 minutes long. But this is only the beginning. Because once you step inside that tiled room, you've unknowingly entered one of the most fascinating stages of your dog's secret language. And what they do next will change the way you see those bathroom visits forever. 2. The bathroom as a scent exchange zone. Step into the bathroom, and to you, it's just another room. But to your dog, it's a cathedral of scents, an invisible painting layered with stories only their nose can read. While you see tiles, mirrors, and maybe a towel hanging crookedly on the rack, they see a swirling ocean of information, raw, unfiltered, undeniable. And when they follow you in, they're not being nosy. They're walking into your most vulnerable scent. Dogs don't speak with words. They speak with molecules. Every breath you take, every drop of sweat, every trace of stress or joy leaking from your skin is a message. In the bathroom, those messages are louder. Walls are close, air is thick, and nothing is hidden. Your dog inhales, and in an instant, they know you've had a long day. Your heart is racing, your body aches, or maybe you're calm and safe. To them, this is intimacy on a level humans can barely comprehend. And notice how they press their head against your leg, rub their face against the cabinet, or circle the same corner again and again. That isn't random. It's a signature, like scribbling their name on your heart. You belong to me, and I belong to you. The bathroom becomes less of a private space and more of a shared diary written in scents. But here's the part that should make you pause when your dog lingers there, tail relaxed, eyes soft. They're not just smelling you. They're syncing with you. They're blending your identity with theirs, turning two separate lives into one pack, one heartbeat. And if you think that's strange, wait until you realize that sometimes they're not there for themselves at all. Sometimes they're there because they know something about you, something you haven't even noticed yet. And that's where the story takes an even deeper turn. 3. They know you're stuck, and they love it. Think about it. When was the last time your dog had your full, undivided attention? Most of the time, you're moving around phone-buzzing doors, opening life, pulling you in 100 directions. But the moment you sit down in the bathroom, the world freezes. You can't run. You can't escape. You can't even pretend you didn't hear them. And your dog knows it. Oh, they know it better than anyone. To them, that tiny room becomes a golden opportunity. You are still. You are cornered. You are theirs. It's like time slows down, and suddenly the bond they've been craving all day is within reach. That's why they weave between your legs, curl at your feet, or even leap onto your lap with the boldness of a child demanding a hug. They're not interrupting, you've finally stopped running, and they're seizing the moment. And here's the kicker, each dog uses that window differently. The confident ones, they'll nudge your hand roll onto their back, or bark softly as if to say, "Now you listen to me." The shy ones, they'll just sit nearby quiet, steady, like guardians in the shadows. But the message is the same. At last, I have you. Don't waste this moment. Funny, isn't it? The place you think of as your most private escape is the one place your dog treasures as the ultimate bonding ground. Because they know you can't run away. And just when you think it's only about stealing affection, there's a twist. In their eyes, you're not just trapped, you're vulnerable. And that flips everything you thought you knew about this little ritual. 4. They're protecting you. Close your eyes for a second and picture what your dog sees. You disappear into the bathroom, the door shuts, and suddenly the strong, capable human they look up to is sitting in silence, distracted, vulnerable. To us, it's a routine. To them, it's a dangerous pause. In the wild, stillness could mean weakness. An animal too quiet, too still was easy prey. And your dog's instincts, honed over thousands of years, light up like sparks. That's why they sit facing the door, ears pricked, body stiff, like a sentinel guarding the gates. They aren't being nosy. They are on duty. To them, the bathroom is not just porcelain and tiles. It's a cave. And when the leader of their pack enters that cave, they follow, not to invade your privacy, but to make sure no hidden threat creeps in while you've let your guard down. Watch closely. Some dogs will pace, scanning every sound outside. Others will curl near your feet, but keep their eyes fixed on the entrance. It's not random. It's strategy. They've placed themselves between you and the unknown. If danger were to come, they'd be the first to meet it. Quietly, without words, they're saying, "Don't worry. I'll keep watch." And here's the part that should make your chest tighten just a little. They only do this for the ones they truly trust. Not every guest, not every family member, just you. That invisible shield of protection is a gift they reserve for their chosen person. But if you think standing guard is the only reason, think again. Because there's something even older, even deeper written in their DNA, a behavior passed down from wild packs where no one ever walked alone. And that instinct is about to explain even more of your dog's bathroom secret. 5. Copying wild survival behavior. Out in the wild, no wolf, no coyote, no ancestor of your dog ever dared to wander off alone. Survival was a chorus, a rhythm of paws moving together, breaths sinking in the night. One stood guard while another drank, one scouted while the rest slept. Separation wasn't just uncomfortable, it was dangerous. And deep inside your dog's chest, that code still pulses. So when you slip into the bathroom and shut the door, they feel the fracture instantly. To them, you've broken the ancient rule, no one goes anywhere without the pack. That's why you hear the shuffle of paws outside the door, or see their nose push the crack open. They aren't being needy. They're obeying an instinct etched into their bones. In their mind, letting you vanish alone is a risk they can't accept. What if something happens? What if you don't come back? Think about it. When one wolf lingers behind the others, circle restless, refusing to settle until the missing member returns. Your dog is no different. That scratching at the door, that patient tail thumping against the floor. It's their way of saying, I won't leave you out there by yourself. Not even for a minute. And here's the twist: watch closely if you have more than one dog. One will follow you and glued to your side. The other might hover just outside watching the hallway, like a sentinel. That's not chaos. That's choreography. You're witnessing the same survival dance that has kept their kind alive for centuries. But if survival instincts explain their loyalty, there's another layer that will shake you even more. Because sometimes it isn't about being your guard or your shadow, it's about seeing you as one of their own kind. And that revelation changes everything you thought you knew about how your dog sees you. 6. They think you're a giant dog. Here's the thought that might make you smile or shiver just a little. What if your dog doesn't see you as human at all? What if in their eyes you're simply a strange, oversized member of their pack, furless, tailless, but still theirs? Dogs don't categorize the world the way we do. They don't look at species charts or family trees. They see energy, behavior, rhythm. And when you close that bathroom door, they judge you by the only rulebook they know: pack or stranger, friend or threat. That's why they march in after you head hightail, wagging as if to say, I belong here. And so do you. To them, sharing such a small, vulnerable space is not awkward, it's acceptance. It's proof that you're one of the chosen. They would never sit calmly in that room with a stranger. They would never relax beside someone they didn't trust. The fact that they do it with you speaks louder than any bark or whine. You are my family. Think about how profound that is. Your dog has forgiven your weird rituals, the loud flush, the running water, the odd habit of sitting on that cold porcelain throne. They've accepted all of it, folded you into their map of the world, and decided that even at your strangest, you're still safe to love. And here's where it gets even more fascinating, because if your dog already sees you as one of them, then every move you make is magnified. Every sigh, every pause, every shift in your mood becomes a signal they can't ignore. And in the bathroom, when distractions fall away, that's when they read you like an open book. 7. Bathroom as an emotional thermometer picture. The door closes, the noise of the house fades, and suddenly it's just you, bare, unguarded, stripped of all the distractions you usually hide behind. No TV chatter, no phone in your hand, no rushing footsteps. Just you and the steady rhythm of your breathing. To your dog, that silence is louder than any sound, and it tells them more than you think. Dogs are masters of reading energy. They watch the rise and fall of your chest, the way your shoulders tense or loosen, the tiny tremor in your sigh. In the bathroom, there's nowhere to mask it. Your emotions leak out like steam from a hot shower, and your dog inhales every ounce. They can smell the cortisol of your stress sense, the slump of your sadness, or feel the quiet hum of your calm. To them, it's like reading a thermometer, but instead of temperature, it's your soul. And what do they do with that knowledge? Some curl quietly at your feet, anchoring you with their warmth, offering wordless comfort you didn't even know you needed. Others fix their gaze on you, eyes burning with a question they can't speak. Are you okay? You might laugh, brush it off as clingy behavior, but in reality, they're tuned into your frequency more than anyone else in your life. Here's the part that should stop you for a moment when your dog follows you into that tiny room. It isn't always about them. Sometimes it's about you. Sometimes they're stepping into your silence to remind you that you're not alone, that whatever storm you're carrying, they've already felt it, and they're staying. But as intimate as that sounds, there's another twist. Because not all of this is about comfort or empathy. Sometimes it's about ownership, and the way your dog shows it might surprise you. 8. Their way of saying you're mine. Have you ever felt your dog brush against your leg in that cramped little bathroom, pressing their head into you, or rubbing their body along the cabinet? To us, it looks casual, even random. But to them, it's a declaration, a quiet signature written in the oldest ink they know, scent. Dogs carry invisible pens in their paws, cheeks, even their fur. And every time they rub against you, they're stamping a message into the air. This one is mine. It isn't dominance. It isn't arrogance. It's devotion. Just as they mark their favorite toy or their sleeping spot, they mark you, blending your smell with theirs until the two become inseparable. And where better to do it than the bathroom, a space stripped of all competing scents, a blank canvas where your identities can intertwine. In that moment, you're not just their human. You're their territory, their comfort, their chosen bond. Watch closely next time. The gentle push of a nose, the circling figure 8 around your legs, the cheek rub on the doorframe, it's choreography written by instinct. And it's all aimed at weaving you tighter into their world. To them, the bathroom isn't private. It's sacred. It's where the pack gets re-inked, where loyalty is refreshed without a single sound spoken. But here's the catch. What happens if you keep brushing them off? What happens if you shut the door too many times? Leaving them outside, invitation declined again and again. That's when something inside them shifts. That's when the bond begins to retreat. And the silence that follows might be louder than the scratching you used to hear. 9. The shift when you ignore them. At first it feels almost funny. The scratching paws at the door, the whining, the loyal shadow refusing to let you go. You might laugh, roll your eyes, even push them back with a gentle nudge. But here's the secret. No one talks about if you keep shutting them out one day, the noise will stop. Not because they're finally well-trained, but because something inside them has gone quiet. Dogs rarely throw tantrums. They don't slam doors or shout when their feelings are hurt. Instead, they retreat like a flame running out of oxygen. That bathroom ritual, the waiting. The following, the insistence was never about being nosy. It was an invitation, a whispered, "Let me be close." Every time you declined that invitation folded in on itself, until finally it stopped being offered at all. Picture it. The dog who once pawed at the door now lies across the room, not because they've grown independent, but because they've learned the answer, "You don't want me there." That's not freedom, it's disconnection. A slow unraveling of a thread they had worked so hard to tie around your heart. And the saddest part, most owners never notice until it's too late. But here's the hope: dogs forgive. That silence isn't permanent. The bond can be rewoven with patience, with presence, with the smallest choices, leaving the door open, inviting them in, acknowledging that tiny request for closeness. Because, in the end, it was never about the bathroom. It was about trust. And if you let them back into that sacred space, you'll see it, the spark in their eyes, the thump of their tail, the silent relief that says, "Finally, we're together again." And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that following you into that room was never a nuisance. It was love, raw, wordless, and waiting at your door. So now you see it. The bathroom ritual was never random. From the panic of the closed door, to the silent reading of your emotions, to the quiet act of marking you as theirs, every moment your dog follows you into that little room carries meaning. It's survival instincts. It's loyalty carved deep into their bones. It's protection sharpened into love. And at the core, it's one simple truth. Your dog never wants you to forget that you are their world. Think about that the next time you hear paws padding across the floor behind you. They aren't being clingy. They aren't trying to annoy you. They are offering you their trust, their devotion, and sometimes even their heart in silence. What you choose to do with that moment matters more than you know. Will you shut the door, or will you let the bond deepen? Because if there's one thing dogs teach us over and over, it's this: love doesn't always come with words. Sometimes it's just the scratch at a door, the steady gaze from the floor, the presence that refuses to leave your side. And if you've ever felt your dog's eyes on you in those quiet moments, then you already know you've been chosen. That's not something every human gets. If you love discovering the hidden language of dogs, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because there's so much more they're trying to tell you, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.